Geographical location Banteay Srei Temple is located in Banteay Srei village, Banteay Srei Commune, Banteay Srei district, Siem Reap province, Cambodia. About 39 km north of Siem Reap town, 27 km from Srasrong and 32 km from Angkor Wat on the way to Phnom Kulen. Banteay Srei is one of the most famous temples in Siem Reap province, Cambodia, Angkor in Cambodia as well as in the world, which attract a large number of national and international tourists from many area. Tourists who visit Angkor Wat and other temples in the territory of Siem Reap often take the time to travel long distance from the city. History of the temple Banteay Srei is famous because it is built of lotus stone with the most vivid carving with 3 towers that are as elegant as a perfect woman. The temple is built on a small flat surface of sandstone, lotus and rectangular brick, and has a moat around the 3 towers of the temple facing east, and the central tower has a dedicated southeast penis dedicated to Hinduism and the north dedicated to Vishnu. Banteay Srei was originally called Iso Arapura, which means Borei and Iso, but was later renamed Banteay Srei because of its slender shape and beautiful and vibrant design on pink stone slabs. 2. Not only that, this temple has been praised by almost all tourists that it is really beautiful. Even so, it has a small area, but the shape of the temple is decorated with flower carving of the story related to the Divaraja Rimke Khmer history. Not only that, each sculpture is alike compared to other temples. According to historical documents of the Khmer Empire, recorded that Banteay Srei was built in 967 AD during the reign of King Rajadravarman II, before the construction of Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom by a Brahmin named Jayavarman, the son of Jayavarman V, dedicated to Brahmanism. Banteay Srei Temple is made of pink sandstone and highlighted by 1,500 apsara. Hi reader, do you still believe? The flower inscription of Banteay Srei is more beautiful than the carving on Angkor Wat, just like the silver carving on copper. According to the guide, Jayavarman V was the builder of this temple. The name Banteay Srei as we know it. The temple is surrounded by a 3-story lateral wall with a long stone pavement to the east, a gopura with fine carving in the center of the courtyard. A lattice factory agreed to the nursery to the south. Fine design today. All that remains is a set pillar. Banteay Srei Temple is a temple with an elegant design with a dazzling stream of twists, frescoes, which look unimaginable as a virtual angel. A round piece of sculpture that can draw the eye to look again and again and make you stand still. Forget yourself, suck your mouth in a measurement, show that this era of building the Banteay Srei Temple is the era of the knowledge of the Khmer ancestors. At that time, Banteay Srei Temple has suffered from disasters in the past due to the war, which caused a lot of damage to this ancient temple. The outer ramparts were excavated during the war. Palm concrete pillars of temple stones were scattered in front of the temple. The inner part of the temple is in a state of disrepair which look miserable. Inscription Banteay Srei Temple is called Srei Phuvana Maheswara, which means the Lord of the Three Worlds, built in 967 AD in the reign of King Regentravarman II, 944 till 1001, according to the inscription number K 842 at the end of the 10th century. According to the Saketatoi inscription, the Brahmin queen named it Yachana Varaha was highly educated in science, serving as a professor of civism and as the first royal teacher of the king. General characteristics: the building of Banteay Srei is lined up on either side of a cheese line running from east to west and can be divided into two parts. The first steps from the east gate, which has a road up to 67 meters. From there, this walkway follows the gallery to the west end, with building stretching to one side. On the same side of the road, but slightly separated from the gallery, there is a wide building, one on the north and three on the south. Follow this to the gate of the third courtyard. Immediately, we come out the second part of the whole temple. This section is 95 meters by 110 meters and is divided into rows from the outside to the inside. In this third compartment, there is a water farm surrounded before reaching the second yard, which is 38 meters by 42 meters. The first wall, counting from the inside, is 4 23.50 meter long. Each rampart had gates and the center east and west. The second yard has many secondary structures as well as other wooden structure that are now extinct. The country yard at the end is the same. There are 3 central towers built on the same 95 meter. In the center is a 9.80 meter high tower with a balcony as a front porch and a west-facing houseboat in front of the 3 towers. Banteay Srei style. Banteay Srei is the name of a temple style that is sometimes associated with the style of transfiguration because the 2 styles are in the same period. However, the style of Banteay Srei is unique in that it is dedicated to name only. That alone, there are very few temples that are incorporated in the Banteay Srei style. There are 5 of them in Siem Reap, Prasat Sralai, Prasat Trapiang Chong, Prasat Srei Tatoi, and a small temple considered to be in the style of Banteay Srei, located to the east of Klang Kangcheng and the central tower of Prasat top west of both temples. Located in Angkor Thom, only the latter temples are made of the sandstone, as they are made of brick with ornaments and other ornaments carved on the sandstone, some of which are on the display in the museum. Excavation. To understand the situation, the BSCP team organized a large-scale archaeological excavation program. In addition to data from the foundations of the towers and about the drainage system, which made it possible to understand the cause of the deterioration. Many ancient objects and threads were found when moving the floor of the inner courtyard. They found holes in the pillars and pillars, indicating that previously there were wooden buildings in addition to the stone structure of the temple. Look like this wooden building is for worship, but this is just speculation. The stone floor in the inner courtyard collapsed, revealing a new structure that was not found during the cleaning and restoration of the temple, such as stone carving, fragments of some sculptures for projecting to tower and guard had a temple. Roof section. From the beginning, the roofs of tower and the house were always covered with a mixture of stone or bricks mixed from one to the other. It was not until the end of the 10th century that this technique spread to the roots of tents, which originated from the time. The roofing technique is simple but less accurate when the roof is large, semi-curved. In the pre-Angkorian period, because the towers were nicely made of the brick, the roof used the technique was also made of sandstone, but in the Angkorian period, sandstone was popular. Banteay Srei Temple seemed to have an experimental side at that time, because the roofing method that all Cambodians practiced was there. The tower and galleries all have wooden frames and tiled roofs that the master craftsman usually knows. If the two huts, as well as the central tower, are covered with bricks in the same way as before, as for the group of towers in the middle of the first gate, some of the gates on the second wall are made of overlapping roofing material, but the material is sandstone. From Khmer tape to Theravada Buddhism during the 14th century, this style of stone roofing was abandoned and the roofs of wooden roofs were replaced by tile roofs, as large roofs could be used to cover buildings with ample space for people. The Buddha can be worshipped. Wood and stone. Architecture, traditionally Cambodian, architect excel at carpentry, whether framing or concealment. The common denominator, including the palace, is built entirely of wood, meaning all the structures are made of the wood, but nothing remains to us. The stone structure reflects the tradition of wooden architecture to the matter how you assemble the wood. Use the same method on the stone. Until the 12th century, the door and windows were assembled in wooden framed with a 45-degree angle. The pillars and the pedestal of the windows were all made of stone, and the pillars were made of acacia wood. The candlestick and no different from wooden candlesticks. Even the interior is affected by the impact of wood and the stone. The Banteay Srei Temple, built in the second half of the 10th century, clearly reflects the practice of wood stone technique later in the late Bayon period in the late 12th century. Much of this replication was abandoned for the sake of the god construction program. Yeah, Jayavarman 7 is very big.